When you think about businesses that are selling through the roof, like Skims or Allbirds, sure, you think about a great product, a cool brand, and great marketing. But an often overlooked secret is actually the businesses behind the business, making selling and for shoppers buying simple. For millions of businesses, that business is Shopify. It's home of Shop Pay, the #1 checkout in the world. You can use it to boost conversions up to 50%, meaning way less carts going abandoned and way more sales going through to checkout. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout Allbirds uses. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/income, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/income to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/income.
This is The Planted Runner. I'm Coach Claire Bartholic. Last September, Sebastian Sawe was on world record pace at the Berlin Marathon. Through halfway, he was right on target, a T formation of pacers around him, splits ticking by exactly where they needed to be to break the 2-hour mark. And then the heat came. Temperatures spiked well above normal for late September in Germany, and Sawe faded over the second half. Still running 2:02:16, still the third fastest marathon ever, but not the record everyone hoped to see fall. 7 months later at the London Marathon this past April, Sawe got the conditions he needed. And he didn't just break the world record, he became the first person in history to run an official record-eligible marathon under 2 hours, 1:59:30. This year, Sawe's coming back to Berlin as the reigning world record holder. And if he gets a picture-perfect weather day, there's no telling what could happen. And it's not just the weather that needs to line up perfectly. Sawe and every other marathoner will need to execute just the right wind down of training to show up on race day at peak form. And if you don't do enough, you risk feeling flat. Even worse is doing too much in your taper and showing up overcooked. How can you be sure your taper finds just the right balance? Let's find out. Welcome to The Planted Runner. I'm Coach Claire Bartholic, and my mission is to help you improve your running, your mindset, and your life with science-backed training and plant-based nutrition. Today, we're busting the taper myths that can undo months of otherwise great training. You'll learn the taper myth that leads runners to either overdo it or undertrain right before the race, what your workout, strength training, and nutrition should actually look like these final few weeks, and how to structure the mental side of your training, especially if you're starting to feel the race nerves already. And if the mental side needs a boost right now, I've made something just for you. It's called the Readiness Reset, and you can get it for free right now. It's a 7-minute audio that combines guided visualization with cognitive conditioning, designed to train the exact response you need when things get hard. I'll talk more about that later on in the show, but if you want it right now, head to theplantedrunner.com/reset. That's theplantedrunner.com/RESET. Don't forget to stay tuned all the way to the end of the episode for another Mental Strength Minute. Fortify your mind in 60 seconds or less. Just like there are countless recipes for a good chocolate cake, there are a lot of different ways to train for a marathon. But for the most part, the ingredients are similar. Tapering for your race is no different. But there are also plenty of cake recipes out there that you probably don't want to take a chance on. And there are definitely a few myths about taper out there that won't rise to the occasion. Myth number 1, every runner should taper the same way. The taper phase is a decrease in mileage and intensity in the final weeks before your race, and the goal is simple. Absorb all the hard work you've already done so you can peak when it counts. But less than 70% of runners are actually optimizing their taper. And a big reason why is that most taper advice treats every runner the same. A 2021 study found that recreational marathoners who followed a strict, carefully controlled taper finished on average 2.6% faster than those who barely tapered at all. And the effect was even more pronounced for women. So a real taper isn't optional, but what it looks like depends on you. Your longest long run should be about 3 weeks out, with the next 2 long runs getting progressively shorter. Those final 3 weeks are not going to add fitness since it's already built, but you can absolutely lose fitness if you get greedy. When in doubt, less is more. Overall, weekly mileage should drop 10 to 20% a week, but don't stop running completely and don't change your frequency. Your body hates sudden drastic change. In the 3rd week out, trim your easy runs and let the long run come down a little bit more. In week 2, shorten everything, including speed days, and add a rest day if you need one to hit that 10 to 20% mark, or if you're just feeling flat, tired, or run down. During race week, some runners take an extra rest day and some don't. Your body loves predictable patterns, so for most people, keeping your normal frequency with shorter runs works better than a big schedule change. Now, what about your workouts, your strength training, and your nutrition? I'll get into that right after this. If today's episode hits home, I want to tell you about something that can help the next time your splits don't match your expectations. It's called the Readiness Reset, and it's completely free. It's a 7-minute audio that combines guided visualization with cognitive conditioning designed to train the exact response you need when running gets hard. Not after the fact, in the moment, while it's happening. Use it before a tempo run, before a long run, before you toe the line on race day. And here's the part that matters most. The more you use it, the more automatic the response becomes. It's not about motivation. It's about repetition and neuroplasticity. We talk about those a lot on this show, and it's applied to the exact moment you need it most, when your pace slips and your brain starts telling you a story about what that means. Go get it right now at theplantedrunner.com/reset. That's theplantedrunner.com/reset, and it's completely free. Use it this summer when the heat is testing you the most. Welcome back to The Planted Runner. I'm Coach Claire Bartholic. We just covered one myth about tapering for the marathon. What other myths can we bust? Myth number 2, taper is just running less. Yes, you will be running fewer miles in taper, but it doesn't necessarily mean you are running less often or just running easy. You will still want to keep your routine for the most part in taper. Your speed days will be based around marathon pace in a couple of different formats, so that pace becomes second nature and your confidence builds. This period can also hint at whether or not your goal pace is realistic. If marathon pace tempos feel brutally hard right now, you're probably being too aggressive with your goal. A typical taper might have a 6-mile or 10K tempo at marathon pace 3 weeks out, a 2 by 3 mile or 5K tempo 2 weeks out, and a 3-mile marathon pace tempo during race week, always bracketed by an easy warm-up and cool down. If you're an experienced or advanced marathoner used to 2 speed days a week, you can add one more taper workout in week 3. I like my athletes to run a taper cut down in that first taper week. Warm up for a mile or 2, run about 4 miles at marathon pace, and then, without stopping, run 4 miles as fast as you comfortably can, and then cool down. Don't chase more speed than that anywhere else in taper. This is pace practice, not fitness building, and going too hard can actually steal the speed you want to save for race day. Your strength training will also taper down too. Keep your normal frequency, but shorten sessions, cut your reps, and lighten the load. You want to stop lifting entirely about 10 days out. Strength gains take about that long to show up, and you don't want any soreness working against you. Nutrition will follow the same logic as everything else here. Adjust, but don't abandon. You'll be running less, so you will need slightly fewer calories, but this is not a time for a deficit, especially if you're hungry. The goal is to load your muscles with glycogen, which means you should actually expect to gain 2 to 4 pounds during taper. This is water and stored fuel, and it's exactly what you want in the bank on race morning. Aim for 3 to 5 grams of carbohydrate per pound of body weight daily, alongside roughly 0.6 to 0.7 grams of protein per pound. For a 150-pound runner, that's somewhere around 450 to 750 grams of carbs and 90 to 105 grams of protein a day. A lot of your carb sources like pasta, whole grain bread, beans will bring protein along with them, but don't forget about classic protein sources like tofu and tempeh. About 2 weeks out, taper your fiber down too. Foods like white rice and potatoes digest more easily than a big salad right before race day. The day before the race, eat your biggest meal at lunch rather than dinner so you've got time to digest, and stick to foods you already know agree with you. Race week is not the time to try something new because you're excited to be in a new city, trying new things. Save the culinary adventuring for after the race. The day before race day, stay ahead of hydration by sipping throughout the day, checking that your urine runs pale yellow, and you want to skip alcohol, hopefully for the entire week at least, since even a little can sabotage your sleep and hydration right when you need it most. Myth number 3 about taper is that you're running less, so your mental health will suffer. Many runners, if not all of them, use running for the mental health benefits just as much as the physical. When we run less, we don't get the brain boost we're used to. Pair that with pre-race anxiety, and many runners spiral into the taper tantrums. Your legs might start to feel a little better after some downtime, but your mood might not. Without as much running to burn off the nervous energy, your mind has more room to replay every missed workout and worry about everything that could go wrong. But it doesn't have to be this way. You can use the time that you're not running to actually boost your mental fitness. To start, you don't want to simply ignore the negative thoughts you're having. You'll want to catch them, acknowledge them, and add in the rest of the story. Maybe you missed a long run in July, but you also completed countless other runs. No single run makes or breaks a training block, and doing most of your training moderately well is genuinely enough. This is exactly how that extra time you have becomes useful instead of detrimental. Go back through your training log and find the runs that went right. Spend a few minutes a couple of times a week visualizing race day in detail, your plan going well, and also what to do if something doesn't. This kind of mental rehearsal is a real trainable skill, not a nice to have. Even better, try out my free guided visualization podcast and use it often during race week. You can get it at theplantedrunner.com/guided-visualization. That's theplantedrunner.com/guided-visualization. And of course, if you want to take your mental strength to the next level in both running and in life, my cognitive conditioning program, Begin with 10, is designed just like a training program for your legs. I'll be talking more about it soon, but if you're curious now, head to theplantedrunner.com/begin with 10. Even though you're probably not racing for the world record this fall, I know you'll want to do everything you can to be ready on race day. And making the last few weeks of training go well is a big part of it. And now it's time for the Mental Strength Minute. Fortify your mind in 60 seconds or less. Today's topic is the fitness is already banked. Nothing you do in these final weeks is going to make you fitter. The work is done. It's already yours, sitting in the bank, earning interest every time you sleep well, eat well, and let your legs recover. The only job left is to not make a withdrawal. Every skipped rest day, every ego-driven workout, every just one more hard run is a withdrawal from an account that you spent months building up. You don't have to do anything heroic in these final weeks. You just have to keep your fitness in the bank until race day.
Thank you for listening to The Planted Runner, part of the Evergreen Podcast Network. Don't forget that you can enter to win a free custom training plan for your next race and get featured on the show. Just write an Apple Podcast review and enter at theplantedrunner.com/PRLab. Of course, reviews are the #1 way to boost this show's reach, and it's a great way to tell me what you'd like to hear next because I read every single one. Have a great run today.